Are they all digital now?
You learned a lesson. You know what you did a lot of Okay, it's 12:03. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Good afternoon, everyone. And who has the invitation? Kristen, I think has the invitation.
Father in heaven, we just thank you so much for the opportunity to meet today. We just pray that you would give us wisdom, direction, and discretion as we meet. Pray that you would give us the opportunity to bless and serve our community and the library that we serve. Amen.
Okay, we get the approval of the minutes. Anybody have any changes or anything to the minutes last time? Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes is sent out. Second, James seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, we have executive director report. I'll let Beth have our agenda back.
We received 3 responses to our request for proposals, and I'm requesting authorization to enter into contract negotiations with Golden Davis.
Why him rather than you?
Pardon?
Why him, why that one rather than the others? Just because?
The one,
When we reviewed the application, the submittals, they came out on top.
okay,
And
it's the same guy that did the last few
They
things.
did the career expansion as their most recent work with us.
I mean, was that a similar process to the one in the past where it was reviewed, scored?
Yes, there were several staff members involved in the review process.
Okay. Do we need to move on that? Okay, so we need a motion on that to move forward with Craig Alden Davis as the architect.
I move that we move forward.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Nobody from the other 2 architectural firms showed up. Opposed? All right, no such thing.
The proposed expenditures for unbudgeted state aid funds that you received, just wanted to get a head start on this because it will help us in our budget process. These items were discussed by senior management, and they're here today to answer your questions if you have them regarding these items. It's mostly equipment and furniture, some IT servers, etc. And anything that's remaining after we get final numbers, final cost, we'll either come back to you with additional items or use it for purchase of additional library materials.
the uninterrupted power supply, this is to new areas, because I think we okay and have that spent for here and Firefox, I think.
This is, that item on this list is in the budget now, in our current operating budget. And if we go on and use state aid funds to pay for it, then we won't need to use operating funds for that. That item,
We'll have operating funds for other things.
and then the children's computers replacement, that's part of our routine cycle of replacement for those. So we're able to use state aid funds for those with your consent.
So most of these then, things that we've already approved,
No, just the two,
Those two.
just those two that are starred with the asterisks there. The others are things that we would probably be requesting in the operating budget for the coming year, but we have the opportunity to use state aid for them instead.
Yes.
And those funds have to be used for that kind of equipment.
We have guidelines for the state aid that we're limited in what we can use it for.
Notice there aren't any books being purchased here.
Pardon?
I noticed there aren't any books being purchased here.
No, that's the way we can
Right.
spend the leftovers, basically. Typically, the state aid that we budget on an annual basis is used exclusively for library materials. And that's already the budgeted amount that's in our operating budget right now is already designated for library materials. It's just easy to expend the funds for material, easier to spend the money for materials when you've got a miscellaneous amount. The 9,000 is a little high at this point, but there's some fudge factors in here. You might say that we just aren't sure until we get the shipping and the tax calculated and things like that, and some more recent quotes. We've been able to do that for a couple of ones that we were uncertain of, but it helps us to have that cushion just to, and then we know what's left once we finalize it.
I forgot to mention that Ken Baxter is with us as well. Can you hear us, Ken?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
The power supply and the computers, are they in?
Pardon me?
Power supply and computers, are they in this budget or are they in next budget?
The uninterruptible power supply is in this current budget.
It's in the budget we've already approved, but
Pardon me?
it's in the budget we've already approved.
Yes, it's already
In the
been
future budget, you're prepared.
Right, it's not in the, yeah, we've just started, this is kind of part of the wish list that we're looking at for the next fiscal year, and we're moving things forward with these funds instead. Jerry, did you want to say anything about that, or?
No, it's just, the budget amount, there is a slight difference between what we got a quote a year and a half ago for, basically, and what the current price is, and that's reflected in this list as well. So, we would have probably had to ask for contingency funds for that difference, which was a small difference, but it still would have, but instead we're adding it to this list. So it is budgeted for this year, you guys have approved that, it's just, it's easier to.
It's pointing what different bank comes.
Yeah.
It's unusual to have this much unbudgeted state aid, but it's just, our process is usually ahead of the legislature's final action. And this was the year that they approved using the 2020 census to calculate the per capita distribution of the state as opposed to the 2010 census. And we've been waiting for that to be approved, and they did it this year in conjunction with providing another 25 cents per capita. That's why it was such a big chunk of unbudgeted funds. There's always some, but this is unusually, it would only happen every 10 years probably.
Seems like a small question, but how much is a trash can? How many are we buying?
When you see these silver ones, they cost a fortune. We're trying to buy nicer cans for this room since it's used so much by the public, and we'll be as judicious as we can in the cost of it.
So how many trash cans would this buy?
We usually have 3, but I think we're talking about we got a couple of extras that, Greg, do you want to address that?
You asked a question.
How much are these trash cans for the main meeting room? How many are we buying for $3,000? They're $1,000 each? Wow.
Close.
You look at these at Walmart.
No, I mean, I do have,
They're stainless, they're similar to that one behind you, the other color.
This one? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a lot, much nicer version of that.
Big-
It's
bigger ones,
stainless,
bigger ones
like we
than
have
we
food and
had.
beverage in here.
They get a
And
lot
we
of
also
use.
need large enough capacity so that we don't have to haul in the Rubbermaid dump carts to take out the food and beverage after large events.
That's, I mean, that, I don't know, everybody else thinks that's, feels a little stiff to me in this environment, but, if that is what it is. $1,000 for a trash can seems stiff.
You come with somebody to empty on that.
I mean, are there alternatives, like smaller sizes, buy more? I mean, it's.
We'll look at it to get the best price we can get for what it is that works best for the space and the usage. It does seem high, I agree, but the cost is,
They're buying it for the Pentagon. The gold-plated toilet seats, same department.
if you'd like to delete that item for the time being, we'd be happy to delete it and.
I mean, that would be my proposal, maybe we take that up. in the budget.
Honey?
I said that would be my recommendation, maybe we take that up in the budget for FY '24, and we can.
You'd rather us budget for it or use state aid for it?
I don't have a preference, I just think we need a little more understanding of what we're,
Okay.
I mean, that's got major newspaper clipping risk on it, and I think we just need to make sure we've
Okay.
dug into it a little more thoroughly before we spend $1,000 a trash can. I know y'all are generally conservative, I don't doubt that that's accurate, or that they are very,
It's an estimate at this point.
very expensive trash cans, but I think that is, we have enough controversy as it is right now. We need to add $1,000 trash cans to it.
Is that a motion? No, a motion.
Yeah, I would move we accept the list, with the exception of the trash cans.
Got a second? Second. Okay. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
And maybe we revisit that. I mean, we'll have some extra funds sitting around, right? So when do we have to make a decision? When can we come back?
Well, these funds have to be expended by June 30,
Right.
and this gives us a head start on that, and then once we identify the final figures for these others, and we'll see what's remaining, and we'll revisit the trash can options, and can probably come back to you, or else,
Present us
yeah,
options.
we'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we revisit it next month, that would give all time
Oh,
to
we'll be
spend
fine,
it by.
I think we'll be fine.
I just want to be clear, I'm not opposed to like trash cans for the meeting rooms, but need some of those gold-plated, version trash cans.
1995.
Okay,
1990.
anything else?
Did we have- is there a vote?
Yeah, we voted.
Final vote, okay.
Yep.
No, that's all right.
Okay. Any unfinished business we need to talk about? Any, new business? Okay, hearing none. We have some, public comment. We have, Mr. Stephen is here today.
From watching some of you, I've learned that censorship is not possible without corruption. In a community with the rule of law, someone cannot impose their will on others without ignoring a policy, abusing authority, silencing people, hiding information, meeting in secrets, or snagging a seat at the table through cronyism. Historically, Censorship always happens in brief little bubbles. People get fed up with the corruption real quick, and it ruins the reputations of the censors. Here's some of the corrupt actions some of you have taken. You banned books in secret. It's finally happened, ignoring long-standing protocols. I'll read the full list in a moment. I'm sure some of you didn't know. You incited harmful behavior, and now over the past month, library patrons have escalated harmful behavior. You repeatedly attacked free speech, including speech as basic as the word rainbow, exposing the library to non-trivial liabilities. As of January 1st, the state requires that you post anti-discrimination posters that now include gender and sexual orientation. Are you in compliance with that? You created a display policy that bizarrely attempts to restrict American Library Association handouts like the one from the TR Library. Yet you require all your librarians to have degrees from ALA-accredited institutions. You met in secret without your colleagues. You tried to pressure employees into lying for your benefit on camera. You made specific management decisions way beyond the scope of what the rules for a trustee allow. And you give zero accountability to a director who, after 20 years, is now so emboldened that she stood up during the last board meeting and apparently tried to influence the vote using a secret ballot. We still don't know who voted for Allen and who didn't. All of this with the persistent, impossible goal to hide or erase queer stories. It is a pattern of corruption clear to anyone, and we know it will continue. Flag is a watchdog group. We created it because you have zero accountability otherwise. Greenville Library trustees are uniquely unaccountable compared to other boards and commissions here. The only power over you, explicitly granted, is that the county council can vote as a majority to remove one of you. That almost never happens. We didn't encourage our supporters to come today. This board only acts on the most conspiratorial, homophobic ideas shared in this room. We're changing our tactics. But you will still hear these self-evident truths at every board meeting. I'm going to take just enough extra time to list the books you have banned so people know. I have no intention of stopping my remarks.
That's 3 minutes, thank you.
If the rules don't apply to you, the big rules, if the little rules apply to us,
If you can't stop on 3
so I
minutes.
suggest that anyone after me, regardless of what they have to say, should take a care of
Everybody
their
gets 3
time
minutes,
too.
Mr. Shalato.
The following items were on your
Ask him to leave.
website months ago, but you have hidden them,
You're out of
thrown them
order.
or checked them out indefinitely without a review process.
You will not be asked to come back.
Generation
You will be asked not to
Brave
come back.
by Kate Alexander. Heather Has Two Mommies by Leslie Newman. Pride Puppy by Robin Stevenson. Feminist Baby Finds Her Voice. That one has an exclamation mark at the end. And that's by Lauren Brandt.
Call me when it's over.
Thanks.
I think it's
It's
a,
over. If you're gonna be on a board, you should be able to listen to the public piece.
For real. I do.
we give them 3 minutes. We give them 3 minutes and it's him that's taking everything out.
Call security, don't walk out when you leave, sir.
Okay, second person to speak is Miles. You have 3 minutes, Miles.
I'll do my best. In the 1930s, one of the first targets of Nazi book burning was the Institute for Sexual Science in Berlin, which worked with gay and trans individuals. Preceding that attack was violent language and dehumanizing falsehoods against the Institute's founder. At one point, he was charged with the distribution of obscene material. Violent rhetoric and unchallenged hate leads to actual violence, and these attempts to equate LGBTQ people with obscenity are nothing new. A little over a week ago, there was an event promoted by Jeff Davis where a woman spread hate, falsehoods, and vitriol towards the LGBTQ community and librarians. Do you know who was in attendance? Your fellow board member, James Ford, who the day following this event wrote on Facebook, "They are normalizing pedophilia, homosexuality, bestiality, gender dysphoria, and countless other perversions of the young minds. It is unacceptable for a library board member to compare LGBTQ people with bestiality and pedophilia." It has been 53 days since you received a letter expressing concern about staff safety. No one in this board or in library leadership has responded. You are acting like cowards and emboldening bigots with your silence. Just last week, staff at the TR library faced additional harassment, including having books removed from a display and hidden throughout the building and receiving a threatening letter. Alan Hill berated staff at TR and did so again during a meeting. He refused to apologize and still hasn't. Then the majority of you chose to re-elect him as chair using a dubious secret ballot at the suggestion of someone not even on this board. You should be ashamed of yourself. We rallied over 200 people who filled the county council chamber and spilled into the entrance hall. We easily defeated Joe Dill's attempt at censorship with a 9-3 vote from county council. We have a growing network of over 700 supporters and partnerships with local church and business leaders. If we wanted to, we could have hundreds of people in this room right now. It doesn't need to get to that point. The library needs to make a public statement addressing 2 central points. The claims about librarians being groomers are 100% false. Second, LGBTQ people of all ages have just as much of a right to use the library and borrow books that feature people like them.
Good job. That was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Thank you. Autumn Bible is next.
First, we lost Stephen. Generally.
Oh, there's just a paragraph.
I can read the rest of the book. If you want. And I'm timing myself too, I'm at 13 seconds.
It's that list again.
Just those bullet points in that one. Okay, so where Stephen left off was Generation Brave by Kate Alexander. Heather Has 2 Mommies by Leslie Newman. Pride Puppy by Robin Stevenson. Feminist Baby Finds Her Voice by Lauren Brandt. Those are just a few we've kept an eye on. There may be dozens more. We are waiting on your director to tell us where they are, which she is legally obligated to do. Book banning gets messy and confusing very quick, so I'll be here after the meeting to answer your questions. Me and Stephen? Sure. I'm at 1 minute and 1 second. I bought them. I live in Taylor's, and this board does not serve James, Marcia, Brian, Elizabeth, Jill, Beverly, Alan, whoever his name is, Kristen, Tommy, Bill, or Joe, or just me. It serves everybody in Greenville County. This is a diverse county with lots of people. It does not serve those of certain determined values and beliefs that are shared with the board or by just one person in the community. This board serves the whole county, a multitude of different people, different values, different belief systems. A book is not going to make your kid gay. There's plenty of people in the county who are gay who went to Bob Jones. So you're not going to protect anybody by banning books. All you're going to do is make those who are like me, Stephen, Miles, and all of our friends stronger and madder. We will come here and we will be in your face every time.
Thank you.
It's a promise.
Ms. Bible, I don't have a problem with the list that he was reading. I don't have a problem with the list that you read.
But where are the books? They're not even addressed this, and it was on the agenda last time I had a screenshot.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get into a discussion. I'm just trying to explain. The problem I had was everybody gets 3 minutes so that everybody can have 3 minutes.
I'm not talking about 3 minutes. I'm talking about the books. I was talking about books. The books that were on December's agenda that wasn't addressed. It's not on this agenda, but the books haven't come back.
Okay.
So the board needs to make a decision, and we're here giving you our feedback as the general public on how the general public feels on the decision that the board needs to make.
You've shown that the rules don't
Andrea
apply to
Williams is
you.
next. Is she available?
That's me. I was just observing. I wasn't going to speak. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
If the rules don't apply to you, why should they apply to us?
You want my
I could use it 3 minutes, but
Okay.
I think we're good.
Do you have a motion to adjourn? Mercifully, thank you.
Afraid of accountability.
all in favor, say aye. Thank you.
I know y'all are putting it together, are those done?
No, not yet, we're almost. I agree.
Nope, I'm just curious. Found out today,